Hi, Dr. Mel, doing physics, and now we are going to determine the resultant. Remember, we started off with vectors and scalars, and now we're going to concentrate on finding the resultant of vectors. So let's quickly have a look at the scalars and vectors that we did. The main difference between a vector, remember we said it's v, would be the direction. The direction we indicate with an arrowhead. Scalars only have size and a unit. 2 seconds, 15 degrees Celsius. It doesn't really indicate in which direction because it doesn't matter. But a 5 Newton force pulling something to the right or pulling something down would make a huge difference. So we need to know that we will be working with vectors, and when we work with vectors, there's also a direct direction that we need to comply with. Okay, so I've got two consecutive vectors. It can either be you walking 6 steps in that direction, and I purposefully didn't put the angle in there because I know I want to discuss this with you. So, no, I have to put in a line there and say I'm walking, let's say, 45 degrees. Now, that can be 45 degrees from the x-axis. In this case, it will also be 45 degrees from the y-axis. So I'm walking 6 steps towards that point there. Now, let's say this is point B, and I started with point A. I then turn and I walk another 4 steps in a 45-degree angle, and I now get to point C. The number of steps, the degrees is not that important for this example, but the fact that we want to find the resultant. So I'm at point A now, and I went to B, and I find myself at my final destination, which is now C. The resultant is the definition, the shortest point between the starting point and the final point. So it is the AC line. That is the resultant. I quickly want to take you back to the athletic explanation that we did. We said you run a 200-meter around an athletic track. The 200-meter will be the distance. The displacement will be that line, which is between the starting point and the end point. So bear in mind, when I want the resultant, it will always be the shortest distance from where I started. Let's quickly have a look at forces. Forces are also vectors. I could pull an object from this point A to point B with a force of 5 Newton. I can then take it from B to C, pull it with 5 Newton. Where am I now? At C. And then you can find the resultant. We'll do the calculations just now. I just want you to see what resultant actually means. Right. Having had the calculation now, we say, okay, we need to find the line AB. And there's a few ways that you can do it. Firstly, graphically, you can just measure this line if you drew that line and that line accurately. Now you've got a protractor. You draw that line at 45 degrees. You measure that with your ruler. Let's say, for instance, 5 newtons. You can have your scale. You again took your protractor 45 degrees and again 5 Newton. And then you just measure that. So it's not difficult, but you have to work accurately, and you have to firstly say, I'm working from A to B, from B to C, that is C, and so that I can find my resultant. Consecutive vectors can be more than two of them. So I can start here. I can walk from A to B. I can then go from B to C, and then from C to D. The question will be, how do I determine the resultant? Now you know, I just connect the starting point here at A with the end point at D. Again, an easy way of finding the resultant would be graphically. Why don't we work graphically all the time? Because it takes a lot of time. So you'll usually use your mathematics and all the geometry and all the trigonometry that you've learned to find the resultant AD. Right, we can also find simultaneous vectors. Now, simultaneous vectors is happening at exactly the same time. So I've got an object there, and I'm pulling this object with a force this side 5 Newton and that side 3 Newton. Now, where will this object be? If I pulled it only with this one, it would have been there. If I only pulled it with the vertical, it would have been there. But now I have two simultaneous pulling forces. The one vertically, 3, and the other one, 5. And it's in actual fact interesting that it will be ending there. So have a look at simultaneous and consecutive. If it's following on top of each other, it's going there and there, then you know you just actually link the 2 points. But if it's simultaneous, it means it's happening at the same time, and therefore this diagonal resultant will be the answer that you are looking for. So I've got a simultaneous vector. As I said to you, we've got, let's say, 4 Newton here, and we've got 3 Newton there. We've already determined that the resultant will be the diagonal. Let's quickly name our figure so that we know exactly what we're working out. The interesting thing is you can do it with a graphical representation like that. Now, if they ask you calculate. So how do I calculate the diagonal line if I've got a horizontal 4 and a vertical 3? Just think a bit. What did you do in mathematics? Pythagoras. So Pythagoras will tell me I've got AD square. That will be equal to AB square, which will be a sum of the two sides. Let's take that triangle. So I've got the diagonal, which we call the hypotenuse. I've got AB, which in this case, it will be the adjacent side. And I've got this side here, which will be opposite. We'll get to working out the angle just now. Let's just try and figure out what will the length of the diagonal be. So AB was 4 Newton. Please remember the square. BD was 3 Newton. Please remember the square. This will give me 16 plus 9, and that will be 25. That's not the answer. Remember, you had square in your equation. That square there. Now I've got to find only AD. And to find AD from AD square, you know you've got to find the square root. So the square root will say AD square root of 25 will be 5 Newton. So what we did now is determine the resultant of two simultaneous vectors, 4 Newton, 3 Newton on a right angle, and we determined that to be 5 Newton. I'm going to quickly work out the angle now. So what we have here is an angle there, and I'm saying that's alpha, and I need to determine, remember we calculated that side as 5, this was 3, 4, and this one was 3. So how do I calculate the angle? Well, you have trigonometry. I can say sine, I can say cos, I can even say tan, because I've got all the values. Sine will be the opposite over the hypotenuse. Cos will be the adjacent over the hypotenuse. And tan will be the opposite over the adjacent. And in all three these cases, you will calculate an answer, and you can practice this. Go and do this by yourself. Do one and then the other and then the other, and see if you can get the same answer as I did. I got that angle as 53 degrees. Now, how do I present my answer? So my answer will be the resultant of the two simultaneous vectors will be 5 Newton, and then you will have to say the angle was 53. Now, if that angle is 53, you could say 53 degrees north from east. So you started here at the east, you went 53 degrees to the northern side, and there you've got your resultant. So anybody can find the resultant by having the instructions that you've got. Another example will be two simultaneous vectors that's not on the y and the x axis. So this can be a more challenging one. So I've got here an example of 10 Newton pulling to that side, and I've got this angle as 45 degrees. Here I've got another angle of 30 degrees, and this is a 3 Newton vector. The question is, what will the resultant be? So think a little bit how you will calculate the resultant. Remember what we did just now. We actually found that we've got to draw the different lines. So I can actually complete the parallelogram with that line, which is obviously the same as the 10, and that one representing the 3. The resultant will thus be the line from the starting point to the end point. And at a later stage, we'll actually do the calculations. And I'll show you exactly how we can easily work out the resultant. But in a graphical sense, this would then be the resultant there. And remember, you've got to actually calculate the angle as well. So you'll have to be able, with a protractor, to go and find the angle of the resultant to clearly indicate to somebody that you know how to find the resultant. Right, what did we do? We firstly differentiated between vectors and scalars. We graphically represented the vector of either consecutive. Remember, they followed on each other. The one followed when the other one was finished. Or simultaneous. And what did we do with simultaneous? That was pulling that way, and this one is pulling this way at the same time. In the next lesson, we'll actually show you how to work out and calculate the resultant. Bye-bye.